Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. HyomiX here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest beta patch notes that came out this weekend for Black Ops Cold War and see everything that they changed from last weekend where they had the open beta for PlayStation 4. And right now I'm on Charlie Intel's website and we're going to check everything out together. All right, guys? So first thing on the list is movement. So they reduced the speed limit of the initial slide impulse and slightly shortened the slide duration. Now this is extremely important because the speed on the slides on Cold War are extraordinarily fast. A little too dramatic if you ask me, just because of the simple fact that there's too many times that I'm engaging in combat with an enemy and while I'm shooting at them, all of a sudden they slide and they're in one frame and they're out of my frame completely. I'll literally go all the way over here, come all the way back, and they already shot me up. I'm already dead. It was just too fast. I couldn't grasp where they were going or what's happening, and it was just too fast, and I couldn't basically recollect myself to the enemy. Now, if you guys ever played Hyperscape, it's basically like that. The slide speed on Hyperscape is extraordinarily fast, just how it is in Cold War. And I'm all cool for sliding because I love sliding, but this is just, it's too fast. So I'm glad that they fixed that a little bit because it's just a little too powerful. They even mention it here that during the PS4 beta, we found players over relying on sliding to traverse ground quickly or engage at close quarters, making it difficult to target players in the open. What do you expect? You gave them the most overpowered movement possible. They're sliding all across the floor. You can even jump slide, jump slide, jump slide. Like, they're gonna take advantage. I mean, come on. Right now on Modern Warfare, they just dropped, what, the fucking AA-12 shotgun with explosive rounds. Guess what everyone's doing? Using the explosive rounds. What do you expect? They're gonna do it. You give it to them, they're gonna use it and abuse it. So I'm glad that you fixed it, but what did you expect? You expected them not to? Then we got the significantly reduced slide speed of the Duster Stock attachment equipped. Honestly, I don't really see this being a huge issue because one, I didn't even know this Duster Stock thing even existed. If I don't even notice it, I don't see it really being a problem, honestly. But whatever. So we're just gonna ignore this because I don't see this being an issue completely. But the fact that they reduced the slide speed on that is probably a good thing anyway. All right, so then we got into the weapons, the weapon tuning. So we got the Milano 821, which is basically the Uzi variant in this game, and they reduced the damage fall off. This update causes the 4-hit kill range to turn to 5 hits at 12.8 meters, down from 19.2 meters during the PS4 beta. So Milano is definitely very powerful, and I believe it is the meta for the submachine guns in the game. So the fact that they made it 5 kills instead of 4 is probably a good thing, kind of to balance that out a little bit. A lot of people are using this gun, including the M4, so the fact that they nerfed it a little bit is not really a big issue because all it did was drop by 1 bullet, so that's fine. Then we got the AK-47, slightly reduces the recoil. So they slightly reduced the recoil. We'd like to see the AK-47 remain a top contender for assault rifle picks, and it was barely edged out by the XM4, which is the M4, and Krig 6 and the PS4 beta. By reducing the recoil, we're giving AK-47 users a better opportunity to compete. So this is awesome because they're not wrong. A lot of people did use the M4 carbine and the Krig a lot more than the AK, and honestly the AK is very good. The AK definitely shreds, and I actually enjoyed it the entire time for the beta. It was one of my top guns to use and definitely recommend it. And now that they reduced the recoil a lot more, I feel like they didn't really have too much recoil. Base stat it did, but if you added like the muzzle brake and the foregrip, I didn't really feel too much recoil. So the fact that on their base stats they reduced the recoil, this gun is going to be a shred machine now. It's like going to be amazing. So definitely recommend the AK if you guys haven't played it yet, because I know there's going to be a lot of new users now from the Xbox and PC that pre-ordered the beta, that pre-ordered Cold War that are going to be playing. So if you guys get access to the AK, please use it. It's actually very good. Then we got the M16. The M16, they increased the time between bursts from 0.216 seconds to 0.233 seconds. This weapon's high lethality and well-rounded attributes allowed it to overperform even outside of its intended role during the PS4 beta. So what they mean by that is that they made the M16 a tactical rifle more than a AR. So in majority of games, the M16 was always an assault rifle. In this game, they decided to make it a tactical rifle. With that being the change, I guess they increased the time between bursts, which honestly, that's okay because the M16 is very powerful and extremely lethal. Especially if you shoot them from the chest to the head, it's very good and very powerful. So definitely try the M16 as well. I mean, I feel like that little bit of time is not really too much of a push or too much of a nerf anyway, so that little adjustment is probably fine and not too big. I'm just hoping they don't ruin DM16 by doing that. So let's see how it plays out, because I haven't tried it yet, but I'll give it a shot and see how good or how bad it is. But remember, it's a tactical rifle, so try to treat it like one. Don't try to run and gun it like a AR or submachine gun, because that's not what it was intended for in this game. Treat it like a tactical rifle. Then we got the Type 6.3 reduced recoil. Our new recoil system tuning made this weapon a bit too difficult to hit multiple shots on target. We've toned down recoil to make it more effective. So what I'm starting to notice is that they're trying to make some of the guns that weren't used a lot and try to buff them up a little bit, and then the guns that were used and abused, they're gonna start knocking them down a little bit, which is fine. That's exactly what I expect from Treyarch. They're pretty adamant about their game changes, and the fact that they made these changes so quick just during the beta alone is actually pretty amazing. Then we got the RPD, slightly reduced hip fire spread. I'm assuming they're doing this a lot because they want the light machine guns to be used more, and on top of that, it's probably okay that they do this. I just hope that this little adjustment that they made is not a huge ordeal, because reducing that hip fire spread can actually be very, very big for people. And it's a light machine gun. Usually majority of the time light machine guns, their hip fire spread is pretty big because they don't want people running and gunning with it, like just mowing people down, hip fire without even having to aim in. So the fact that they're doing this, I hope that it's not a bad thing, and I hope that, you know, it's just enjoyable to use the RPD versus it being too overpowered. You know, usually in Call of Duty, sometimes they make these small adjustments and they become big issues later. So I'm hoping it's not one of those things. Then they got the Gallo SA-12, which is the semi-auto shotgun that looks like the Spaz. They adjusted the medium range damage to require 3 hits to kill instead of 2 at mid range. So this is kind of extremely important because it is, like they said here, it's an extremely effective secondary throughout the PS4 beta. A lot of people use this shotgun as a secondary, and the fact that shotguns are secondaries, they definitely need a lot more regulation on them because you don't want them to be too powerful, especially that, like I said, like they're secondaries. So the fact that it's a 3-shot kill instead of 2 at mid range is probably fine anyway, because the fire rate on the Gallo is very, very fast, so I'm not stressing out about it. And a lot of people did use it throughout the beta, and the fact that they gathered that data very fast and made that change is actually very, very good for them. The only attachment they seemed to change was the agency suppressor, and honestly I haven't gotten a chance to try it, but they reduced some recoil bonuses. The attachment came with too many strengths without enough trade-offs during the PS4 beta, particularly with how much it reduced recoil. This update reduces some of the bonuses while still making them notably beneficial. So I guess they just took some of the good stuff off because the suppressor was just too good, which is fine. You don't want anything too overpowered. I mean, I feel like the game is already as hard as it is. This is probably fine. I don't really have an issue with that. Then they got field upgrades. Field mic is definitely the most overused field upgrade, so if you're new to the beta, you're probably going to be using a field mic or trying to figure out what it is. Think of it like a personalized UAV. You put it in an area and it picks up sounds for you, but instead of you actually hearing the sounds, it'll just show up as a red dot on your mini map. So it's basically like a personalized UAV for just the specific area that you put it in. Usually for me, I like to put it either in my flanks or whatever area I'm at. So let's say I'm going in through a hangar or something and I just pass through, maybe I'll drop a field mic there and keep pushing and make sure nobody's coming through my flank. You could pretty much use the field mic as much as you want. So what they did with this is that they reduced the range of the field mic to detect players who are crouching ADS or moving but not sprinting. So this is kind of important because they reduced the range so it's not so broad. It's probably best because honestly, it's, like I said, it's the most overused field mic and also the most selfish field upgrade that you can use. It's kind of good that they did this, so kind of like regulates so it doesn't have too many people using it. There's a lot of other cool field upgrades like the SAM turret and the trophy system that are very, very good, and your whole team can use it, especially in objective game modes. The only other one that there is the landmine, which is also a selfish field upgrade, which is fine. The thing about the landmine though is that it's a lot of people expect it, so you're not going to kill too many people with it, especially that it's like one of the first field upgrades you get in the beta, so people just expect it, and all you got to do is lay prone and it doesn't hit you. So since this is the most used and abused, I'm glad that they made some changes to it and reduced that range. Equipment is the frag grenade, which, by the way, let me tell you, this frag grenade shit is so annoying, man. Especially if you use like danger close, which is one of the wild cards. You get 2 of everything for your lethals, tacticals. I think you get max ammo as well. So with the frag grenades, they reduced the damage on the outer half of the frag grenade splash damage radius, which is fine because, like I was getting to before, is that these frag grenades, when you use that danger close, you're just chucking these grenades across the entire map. And literally, I was on stream the other day, last weekend, and my viewers actually counted the amount of times that I've died from a random nade. and I died by a random grenade 14 times on stream. Yes, 14. Yeah, this is not a dramatic number. They actually counted 14 random grenades. Like, it's insane about how you can throw a frag grenade and it bounces off 35 different objects and still blows you to hell. So it's I'm glad that they're reducing the damage on the outer half, or whatever the hell that even means. But the fact that they're reducing some splash damage radius is probably a good thing, because the frag grenades in this game are just, they're just a nuisance. They're just a pain in the ass. Think about it. You got 6 to 12 people that have danger close with 2 grenades. That's about what, 6? That's about 12 grenades people are chucking across the map. One is bound to kill you. Like, there's no escaping. It's just a raining frag grenades in all these maps, and I'm sure you guys have seen it or have dealt with it, because that's basically all it is. Just fucking raining frags. All right, and then last but not least, there are just some known PC issues and workarounds. I'm not gonna really get into this because they're just little things. Like, it has nothing particularly to do with the game itself, besides like mouse wheel input delay, when many audio devices are available. Like, it's just little computer stuff and workarounds that they did for the computers. So I'm not gonna get all into that. It has nothing really particularly to do with the actual patch notes for the beta itself, besides some little PC issues that they're addressing. So I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about everything that was for this beta patch notes that came this week for the Black Ops Cold War, because they made a lot of different changes from last weekend for the PS4 open beta. So now that they're the new open betas for everyone else, they definitely made a lot of changes. I want to go through a little bit of everything with you guys about what kind of changes they made for the weapons, movement, attachments, frag grenades, which they didn't make too much of adjustments besides the weapons. The weapons here were pretty much the most that they've changed, besides, you know, like the huge thing that they changed, I want to say, is definitely the initial slide impulse and slightly shortened slide duration. The slide was probably the most aggravating thing out of the entire Black Ops experience, Cold War experience, but the fact that they addressed this issue pretty fast is awesome. I feel like the weapons weren't too much, because I haven't really found like an overly powered gun just yet. I feel like they're all kind of balanced in their own weird way. So the fact that they've definitely did some minor adjustments is pretty cool. Without further ado, I want to say thank you guys for watching the video and checking everything out and reading through the patch notes with me. I want to say for this weekend, guys, if you guys are new to the beta, try to enjoy it. Try not to get too stressed out. This game is very rage inducing for sure. It's very aggravating. You definitely want to change your playstyle for this game. It's a lot different than Modern Warfare. And, you know, just try to enjoy yourselves, have fun, try to experience new things, mess around with the guns, the attachments, the new kill streaks, try everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and peace later.